Good afternoon, everybody, or I should say good evening here in Connecticut. It's a Monday night spectacular that we're privileged to commentate today. My name is Marie Kashuba, and I'm going to be your live stream commentator today, and I'm giddy with excitement over the start of this season here at Quinnipiac University, at least for the home meets. And with me, I'm privileged to work alongside one of our former QU athletes and one of the young ladies I had the privilege of coaching for a very short time, Paige Meyer. Paige, welcome.
Thank you, Marie. I'm so excited to be here to watch these hardworking girls, and I know they're just as excited to showcase all their hard work at their home opener today.
I agree. So I have to ask because, well, you know, it's just the right thing to do. What's it like being on this side?
It's a different world. I'm
it's
on the
a
other
different
side
world. You're
of the
handling it
today.
so well. You're handling it so well.
I said I might get emotional, but I'm
you
excited
might. It's
to
okay.
be here and
It's
see,
okay. We should have asked for tissues
yeah.
just in case, but that's okay. But so obviously Quinnipiac's second meet for the season. Their first meet obviously was an away meet last week, and I believe that they came away with a big win, which is a great way to start off the season. And so today they're going to be going up against Davis and Elkins, the Senators from Elkins, West Virginia.
Elkins, West Virginia.
All right. So they had a bit of a travel, and they're already out for their first round. Let's see how it goes. A little bit of a bobble. They seem to be pleased with that. So, obviously, NCATA meet is a team competition consisting of 6 events. This first event you're seeing now is the compulsories, followed by 3 heats within the acro event, followed by the pyramid event, and then halftime. And then after halftime, there'll be the 3 T's, as we said earlier, the toss event, the tumbling event, and the team event. And obviously, we'll have a running score kept throughout the meet, and we'll obviously announce those as they come in. I believe, is this the first time these 2 teams are going up against each other?
Yes, it's the first time that the Senators are versing the Bobcats.
So this will be great. And I believe the Senators are 1-2 right now coming into this season. Wonder how they're liking the weather up here in Connecticut.
No, it's been a beautiful couple days.
Yeah, it's still cold though.
You have to put into play though that they had a very long bus ride.
True.
To get here, and now they're competing on a Monday night, so they're probably a little tired.
We have a pretty good crowd here, which I love to see. So I feel like it just changes the energy in the room. Waiting for our judges to be ready, and then Quinnipiac will be taking the round. Now, the great thing about compulsories is it's really where we're comparing apples to apples. Same skill sets performed by both teams. I like to explain that. Still a newer sport, and it's great. But then when we get out of compulsories is where you see all the creativity come in. That's also fun, too.
It's also amazing to see from the start of the season to the end of the season. Right now we're at the middle ground, but to see the improvements that these girls make just in confidence and skill level alone is always nice come postseason.
I agree. Walking out looking pretty confident.
Hard not to look confident in those new jerseys.
You're liking the new jerseys.
I'm really loving the jerseys. A little bitter. I didn't get them.
Pretty.
Both sides want to look as identical as possible.
Impressive. They look extremely determined.
Finish it off.
Beautiful. Strong start. Good for them.
Definitely a strong start. Important to keep that stamina high throughout the whole meet.
I agree. Got to start strong, we got to finish stronger. That's what I always say.
Exactly.
There's always something to be said about being in your home court, hence the term home court advantage. I think there's a comfort zone involved.
Definitely.
And obviously usually a bigger supporting group, crowd here to have your back. But
Roommates,
I love
friends,
these meets.
family,
Absolutely.
they're all here.
Absolutely. I love these meets, and I can't believe that they actually asked me to come back every time and talk. I'll talk anytime. Are you kidding me?
We can talk about acro all day.
All day. All day.
You can see there are a couple other teams are also here supporting.
As well, they should be.
Hanging out with Boomer over there.
It's nice to see the student athletes come out and support their other athletes from other sports.
I love to see it.
Davis and Elkins out now.
For compulsory pyramid.
Nice job. So Paige, tell me, what was your favorite part of the meets? Did you have a favorite round? Did you have?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Oh, I have it easy. I can tell you what my favorite is.
Let's hear it.
Tosses every time.
Tosses every time.
I just love seeing bodies in the air, but I love to see the control and just, what they can do and the height, the amplitude, I guess is the correct term. But I just love it. I'm always in awe. And I mean, tosses have been around for a long time if you have a cheerleading background. But to see the skill level that they're performing in the air, I just love it. I love it. Can't wait for it.
No, after seeing that Netflix documentary, Cheer, I definitely learned more about it. And seeing our tosses in comparison to cheer.
Right.
I mean, men are tossing these women, and these girls we have our strength coach over there. They work hard multiple times a week
Absolutely.
to keep up with that strength to be able to get that height. So.
Absolutely.
But I don't know, as for my favorite part of the meet, it'd probably be right before the team routine because you get a sense of chill throughout your body. It's like electric feeling inside of the arena, and it gets everyone so excited. So you feed off of that energy for
That's
sure.
great. That's great. I love that answer. That's awesome.
Oh, I'm glad you do, Marie. A lot of athletes take the floor for this event.
It's amazing how quiet it gets right before they go.
Mm-hmm. That was solid and for sure an improvement from the last meet. I agree. So happy with that.
As a coach, that's all I think you can hope for is that you use every meet as a building block to hopefully eventually get you to where you need to be.
As Marianne Powers says, continue to chip away.
That's right.
Each and everything, because those little tenths really do add up and count.
Everything adds up. I agree. So that's acro and pyramid done, and now we're going into toss. And if I remember correctly, and just I believe everything in the compulsory round is out of a 10, possible 10, correct?
Everything is out of a 10, and both teams have to execute these same skills. Some of the things the officials look for: execution, body positions, stability of structure. And all that jazz.
All that jazz. Nice.
You'll see as the other teams going, the Bobcats really stay in the zone. They're not looking to see what they're doing. They're just focused on exactly what they need to do the next round. They go out there and beyond.
I think every team has their own strategy for the way they coach and what they want their kids to do. I know that, I work with middle school teams right now because my daughter's in middle school. And I'm always telling them, don't worry about what anybody else is doing because it doesn't affect what your job is the same.
Exactly.
You got to do your skills. And so I'm a fan of believing that you worry about what you're doing. Now, of course, sitting here, I like to see everything I can see. But, yeah, you want them in the zone. You want them really focusing on their skills. No different than what other sports are. You want your athletes in a place where they're just focused on their job and do their job, right?
Exactly. No distractions.
Exactly. Quinnipiac lined up, ready to go.
Next to the compulsory toss will be Quinnipiac University.
Beautiful.
A couple freshmen out there, too.
We were both talking earlier before we came on to the live stream. Obviously, a large senior class, 12 fabulous athletes that I know Marianne can't say enough about. Hoping nothing but the best for all of these athletes, of course. But I think you always have a soft spot for your seniors.
Definitely.
You want them to have the most magical year if they can. And they're just such a good bunch. They were a very tight-knit bunch right from the onset, I remember.
Yes, they're all roommates. They're very hardworking, and they all bring so much to the program.
That's great. A lot of leadership, too, from what Marianne tells me. That's great. Can make all the difference.
But it's something, it hits differently when it's your senior year. Everything
I
is
agree.
The first last. We were talking to Cameron Diaz, and she's like, it's my first last home. She
Yeah,
came
I
over
know.
to say hello. And it's just, although, you still have more, and there's still senior day to think about, it's true. This acrobatics tumbling team is what they're going to remember most about college.
Absolutely.
It really made their experience whole here at Quinnipiac. On to compulsory tumbling.
This one's always so tough for me. Hey,
Like
that
we
was
said before,
that
staying
did great.
focused. Yeah, staying focused on each thing and staying in the zone. This is so many skills in a row.
Planting those skills.
Exactly. Finish one, reset, and focus on what you have to do next.
I will say, I love the way their teammates are. They're very all over their teammates when they're on the mat. And that's got to be great because when you're an away team and you don't have the fan base that you normally have, I love seeing what they're doing on the sideline.
Very supportive.
Absolutely.
Whether on the mat or on the sideline. They're getting the job done.
Yes, they are.
Coach Chris is getting the girls ready for good old compulsory tumbling.
Giving them some last second pointers. Either that or talking them off a ledge for nerves. Right. Yeah. You never know. It depends on the athlete, right?
He's so good at keeping everyone calm, cool, and collective.
He's a pretty calm, cool, and collected guy.
He is.
Isn't he?
He is. He's got it all going on. He's got it together.
Marianne's got a great staff here. She really does. She's an amazing person, though. I felt very privileged to work alongside her. Definitely miss those days, no doubt.
We have alumni working. Both Erin Trotman and Danielle Duncan were captains together years ago. Jenna Capristo. Sorry,
I still
Jenna.
can't believe she's graduated.
I know. She's coaching here, phenomenal tumbler, and now she's a phenomenal tumbling coach.
Well, as the sport grows, we have more and more athletes coming out, graduating, going on, and pursuing their careers. But many of them obviously are taking paths of, staying in their passion a little bit longer. Listen, I'm all about if you can continue to do this well into your elder years, by all means do it.
Definitely.
And we need good coaches. We need good coaches in every sport. And I consider it sort of like paying it forward. This is a sport that's growing at a very rapid pace, amazingly rapid pace, and
Especially a lot of people were part of the growth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, QU.
8 athletes take the mat for this compulsory event.
Nice, that one's solid.
And the icing on top. It's so nice seeing athletes last year who might have struggled in some areas perform so well. Sarah Alemo, for example, she worked hard always last year. Every practice she was, like I said before, like Mare says, chipping away at these skills. And it's so powerful to see them out there now performing so well.
That's incredible. I love watching it. I'm just in such awe. I don't know how these officials do it. I would love to take the officials training just so that I, as a commentator, could get a better eye for the sport. I've coached it, and you're literally looking for millimeters of like the most insignificant. Well, they're significant. I shouldn't say insignificant, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if you come from cheerleading like I do. 9 times out of 10, at least back in the old days, you were happy when things hit. It's not even about hitting; it's perfection.
Yeah.
It really is about. Yeah, you have to hit it, but like the slightest
toes
move,
have to be pointed.
absolutely,
Your arms have to be straight.
It's ridiculously.
And this team is made up of so many different powerhouses. We have smaller
Absolutely.
girls, taller girls, super strong, more lanky girls.
Crazy.
And everyone has to do their part to make that perfection happen.
I know. One of these days, I'm going to sit through that training just so I have a better eye. Would love it. Would love it.
Judges are getting the scores ready for the compulsory.
Oh, that'll be
rounds.
exciting. I like it when we start reporting on scores. That's the numbers person in me.
I'm glad you're a numbers person because I'm far from it. Me and math do
Numbers
not
make sense
mix.
to me.
Perfect. We make a good team.
Quinnipiac University 9.35. In the compulsory pyramid heat, Davis and Elkins 8.70. And Quinnipiac University 9.70.
That's a really impressive compulsory acro score.
In the compulsory toss heat, Davis and Elkins 9.05. And Quinnipiac University 9.70. In the compulsory tumbling heat, Davis and Elkins 6.75. And Quinnipiac University 8.85.
Those tumble scores are always just so. It's so amazing to me because when you watch it, it looks good. It looks so good, but there's like a foot movement or separation or whatever, and it's hard even from the angle we're at because obviously we're watching from the back at an angle, but.
Like we said, it's really it comes down to the little things.
All right, so QU with a pretty good lead coming into this. Wondering how Marianne's feeling about that score. Not sure. She's got to be pretty happy with those. I think it was a strong start for them.
An improvement from last. It
Absolutely.
looked as though it was an improvement from last meet.
I think I might have last.
Now we're starting the acro event.
So this is where they get to be creative and come up with skills.
Davis and Elkins' start value for this round is a 9.25. Number 11, Destiny Owens. Number 14, Caitlin Guzman. And 16, Rebecca Smith. These rounds will be made up of 5 different elements. We have a 5-element round, a 6-element, and a 7-element coming from each team. Free play here.
A little bit of a deep knee bend there. They seem pleased with it, though.
What we've seen so far, like I said, they're really getting the job done. It could use a little bit more polishing, but in terms of completing the skills,
absolutely,
really a newer school.
Absolutely, newer school. I mean, you know, programs take time to build.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say years, but they take time to build. Definitely. All right, so. Yeah, but
2 sophomores and 2 seniors out there. The Bobcats' start value is a 10.0 for this round.
solid.
A beautiful full off.
Beautiful lines on that.
You'll see a lot of athletes are together for a lot of different events or different skill sets just because they get in the groove together and they work so well. Hand in hand, literally.
Nice. They seem pleased with that. Teammates seem pleased. Coaches are clapping. That's all a good sign.
4 smiles and a big group hug.
Yeah.
Can't ask for more than that. The second heat in the acro event will be the 6 element. Similarly to what we just saw, but they're going to add an additional element to the mix. Replay for Quinnipiac.
Wow.
So much control in the air by Bonnie for Lil. Davis and Elkins' start value is a 9.25 for this round. These start values are determined based off of the difficulty of the elements they choose to put in the round.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's important to finish strong if something does go wrong,
I
and that's
know.
what they just displayed.
It's just unfortunate. It really looked like her foot just slipped. Ah.
But it's still early in the season, so there's
You're
always
right.
room for improvement.
And I will say there's something about just having to keep your composure when something like that happens and keep going, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Refresh, restart, regroup. Number 50's taking the match. She took my number.
Oh,
Have some love for her.
Paige's number. Should we send her a heart?
Yes. Blow her kisses from
There
here.
you go, right. I forget about that. That's right. You give up your number and somebody
I
else is wearing
know.
that jersey. Some of us never got to wear the jersey, so, we don't have that much pity for you. I would have killed for a sport like this in
Aw.
my day.
Very lucky, very honored to
Absolutely.
be part of the team. Such a good program for 4 years. And I actually think number 15, Nicolette Tyanga. I got to learn your name, girl. But she won Freshman of the Week or Rookie of the Week, something
good
along
for
those lines.
her.
So I picked a good girl to give my jersey to.
There you go.
Quinnipiac start value is a 10.0 for this round. 3 seniors taking the mat. A junior, Marissa Bruno.
It's nice to see her back on that, right?
Yes, after an injury.
Absolutely.
Her videos yesterday she sent around. She's starting to tumble again, did a beautiful 3 to full, and that's the consistency you want, and the determination. Little wobble, good save.
And it's so funny because I just saw them warm that up and there was nothing. Yeah. Just goes to show you.
I love the split that they're doing with their
I
legs.
love it, too.
I knew you would like it, actually. Alex and I were talking about that. It's different. It's very unique.
It is.
A little mistake to start off, but they really came back and finished strong.
She fought for that in the air. I don't think I ever seen her clinch
That's
so
no
tight.
Mancini for you.
Little Mancini.
Have a replay. Look at the fight. Although a little bit of deduction.
Of course.
It's good. Better to do that and fight to stay up than to have it fall.
I agree.
Getting ready for the 7 element, the last and final round of the acro event. Davis and Elkins is putting on a 10.0 start value for this round.
Good for them.
Yes. Go, girls. Good save. She's cute. Little blonde pigtails.
Oh. Come on, girls. You got this.
Finish what they started.
Good for them. Way to persevere.
2 times the charm.
That's right. You know, the skills that have evolved in this sport they're beautiful to watch. They're impressive, and there's no doubt when you watch. I mean, this hand-to-hand stuff, one girl holding another girl or another lady, another female above her head. There's so much power in that, but I can't. I'm like amazed at the strength and the control from both ends. It's just, it's amazing. It's amazing to see. And it's got to be hard to come in as a new program. It's there's no beginner or intermediate. You're almost like pushed
When
to
you
that.
come in as a freshman,
Exactly.
it's either cheer,
That's
weightlifting,
true.
gymnastics,
Exactly.
and it's a whole new world. It really is, where a lot of other college athletes come in as they've played baseball their whole life, or
Right.
they've played basketball, whatever. And this is kind of, you have your skill set and you're bringing it to the team, but it's still a refresh.
And you have to learn a new skill set to
Exactly.
go along with it. Absolutely. I
And you
agree
have to
with you.
learn, it's not, for gymnasts at least, it's not just a solo sport anymore. You're tying in working hand in hand with other girls. So
And the difference in the mat.
yeah,
Not a spring floor. There's a
Yes.
big adjustment with that with some gymnasts, no doubt.
exactly. It's always
and then-
nice to have such good trainers and strength conditioning coaches to prepare their bodies for that
Absolutely.
culture change.
Absolutely.
4 seniors taking the mat for this 7 element. Quinnipiac starting with a 10.0.
This is the 7 element. Am I correct?
Yep.
Next with a start value of 10.0, Quinnipiac University. Megan Hamler, Tara Magdalene, and Brianna Girt.
Carly Duvall out there works so well with Megan Hamill always. Dara Magro, the Dara Magro, taking the mat, and Brianna Girt.
Nice. They seem pleased with that.
Megan and Carly both probably reaching 5 foot together. Little shrimps out there, but they're really a force. They heavy
Hey,
practice.
You
their
know,
hands, they
my
always
motto
work
is
so
big
well.
things come in little packages.
Exactly. I love that.
Those are powerhouse athletes.
Mhm. Wait for scores on this one, then we're going to get into the pyramid events. Some athletes are warming up for tumbling that'll go on in the second half.
Got to stay warm. Can't let your body go cold. Especially if you're waiting there, if you're not in one of the rounds, it's important. So
Pretty good turnout for a Monday night,
I think so too.
right?
I was thinking though, like when they asked me to commentate today, I was like, Monday night, really? And I thought, oh, that would be cool
This
because
is the first Monday night meetings.
I think it's the only time I've
ever.
ever done one during the week. I don't remember doing one, so I was excited for it, and I thought there actually might be more of a turnout. I don't know, life is just so busy, but weekends are hard sometimes,
Yeah.
But there's a good crowd here. It's great to see.
A lot of parents, when I was walking in, I was chatting with them. They were excited for the upcoming trips to Oregon. And
Ugh, I miss those trips. Although I have to say, by the third bus ride, I was over the
had
bus
enough.
ride.
You've
I was
had
over the
enough.
bus ride. Yeah, I like the ones we get to fly to.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Those were
even
nice.
the bus rides, though, I mean, you make do with what you get. You're with your teammates. It's
Okay,
an experience
you can
don't
say
wanna
that
live.
with a 20-year-old back when you have a 52-year-old back on a bus.
All right, I get
The
you
next
there.
day, I was like, oh,
get you
definitely
there.
felt my age.
The trick is we would bring sheets and make little.
Oh, I know. The
cocoons.
little, I used to call them the little hammocks.
Yes.
They looked like a
yes.
hammock on the bus. Like, I don't know how you guys
Keep
did that.
the back nice and ready.
Yeah, you guys should
competition.
patent that idea. You probably can get somewhere with that
know.
with the bus companies.
Quinnipiac Acro patents the hammock.
Those trips are always great times, though. You see a lot of bonding going on, and all that stuff is just so important, And you're making memories. That's the best part, Like, we forget that. It's not just about competing and and taking the floor as an athlete. I
Yeah.
mean, you're just making lifelong friends and lifelong memories, and it's awesome.
That's the toughest thing for the seniors, I think, to wrap their head around. Is
Yeah.
that although
Yep.
it's over, it's a different part of your life.
Yes,
that's over.
exactly.
You guys
It's
will
another
have friendships.
stage. Yeah.
Exactly. We have a lot of alumni here now, and I know they're all going to be hanging out and, catching up, see what everyone's up to. So it's just as fun. You kind of pick up right where you left
I
off.
know. They should do like a big A&T, like for all the athletes. Because, I mean, wouldn't you want to see even some of your competitors?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I think about some of the teams that really were, the pioneers of starting this off, I'd love to see some of those original athletes just to get their thought process on, how they feel about where the sport's going. And
it's also, that's why it's so unique. We have Erin and Danielle, who both
That's
were
true.
at
That's
the start of
very
this
true.
program.
I
So we
know.
have that perspective with us now, which
That's
is so
true.
such a cool thing that our program has. Cassidy Osher is one of the finest tumblers on the team and is just back recently with a back injury. So she's hitting the mat and finally able to tumble to her full speed.
That's great.
A lot of Davis and Elkins fans took the trip too. Signs up there.
I wonder how long of a drive it is. That's great, though. Well, you know what? The weather, it was probably, if you were going to make the trip, this was a good week to do it.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. But,
Definitely.
Oh, look at the crowds all getting into it.
Right?
They brought
a lot
their
of fans
signs.
for them.
Very cool. Waiting on scores.
I know, this is taking a while.
Maybe they need a calculator. No, I'm kidding. You know me. Would you like
Maybe
me
they
to bring
need
my
you.
calculator over? No, I'm kidding. I'm sure they have the hardest job in the house. I've said that since day one.
Oh, definitely. There's Boomer here to support.
Handsome fella.
The most handsome. It's going down the stairs, getting nice and close to the camera. All right, and for the scores.
Davis and Elkins, 8.45. Quinnipiac University, 9.8.
Okay, they seem to be happy with that.
In Acrobatics, Davis and Elkins, 7.65. Quinnipiac University, 9.5. In Acrobatics, Davis and Elkins, 7.8. Quinnipiac University, 9.45. The Acrobatics, Davis and Elkins, 23.9. And Quinnipiac University, 28.75. After our compulsory acrobatics, Davis and Elkins total running score 56.85 and Quinnipiac University 66.35. It's now time for pyramid football, the inversion pyramid. Up first, with a start volume of 10.0, Davis and Elkins.
We're going to see 3 different heats in the pyramid event.
A little bit of a struggle there. Just goes to show you the amount of weight and pressure on those bases. I mean, they're really holding. That's a 3 high pyramid in my opinion. It's 2.5, but it's 3 bodies up in the air. It's amazing.
replay here. Safety is stressed so much in this sport that it's almost practice just in case. You can see those athletes knew exactly what to do to make sure people on top of them stayed safe and not injured. Inversion pyramid for the Bobcats coming soon. They're going to start with a 10.0 as well.
Quinnipiac came in ranked number 3 again this year.
Yep. But I think they're determined.
They should
move up those rankings. They're very close, so.
So many incredible, D1 schools that are just constantly up there. And, and to me, it's tenths of points between so many of those schools. Anyway, just it's anybody's day, really.
Exactly.
Got to go down fighting.
And as programs continue to grow, it's going to become harder and harder to get into those top 3 spots.
And we're excited that there's more and more programs growing,
Exactly.
right? That's what we want to see. More opportunities. So controlled. Good for them.
Solid.
Solid. Marianne's very happy with that.
Yes.
Let's go.
She did a fist pump.
Fist pump. I think she's wanting a 10 on that.
Yes.
I know her body language.
From our angle, it looked like just that, 10.0.
Well, we'll give it a 10. Well,
yeah,
what the heck.
We'll give it a 10.
Doesn't count, but,
We got the eyes.
Solid.
Take a look at a replay.
I like the replay. We can watch from the front now. Look at that. Even the way she steps on, it's like.
So poised. Great hold.
Beautiful lines. I mean, I don't know. I'm fighting for it. I'm feeling it. Now, if it's not, then I definitely have to take the training. Beautiful.
If it's not, it's close to it. I'll tell you that.
It's darn close, right?
For the duo pyramid.
Again, side by side, mirror images, or at least that's what you're hoping for. Nice.
Single base taking that up. It's impressive.
You're right. When it's important to point out too that it's not just it's everything from the minute it takes off from the ground, it executes at the top, right down until all the bodies are down on the floor again too.
Every little thing matters, even just the clean of the arms, the slapping on the sides. It'll sound crisp, and then you know it's right.
Yeah, no popcorn effect. That's what I call that. They did a great job on this one. Got to be feeling good coming off that one. Good for them.
Definitely. Like we said, in a lot of cases, these D1 schools are versing D3 or D2 schools, so it's almost about you. You want to make sure that your personal team is chipping away and away and away
Absolutely.
and beating their scores from previous weekends or previous meets to get where you need to be come championship season.
And Davis and Elkins, I believe, is in fact a D2 school, correct?
Yes,
D2.
verify?
Good for them. Okay, so let's see. This one's only got a start value of 9.9. Only, like that's, I shouldn't say it like that. Only a 9.9. I didn't mean it that way. Control.
Freshman in the air and a sophomore, Nicole DeLiva. It's always great to see a freshman become so successful so early on in the season. They're really getting it.
Well, you know, you want depth in your bench. You don't want, you know, we all know that our seniors, there's a reason why they're seniors by the time they're there. Hopefully they're the cream of your crop, and they're the ones that you've groomed, and you hate to lose them, certainly, and that's at, you know, at any level of competition. But if you're not grooming those athletes underneath them,
exactly,
you're doing a disservice to your program. God, it looked just as good from the back, I have to admit.
2 smiles in the air.
A little bit of a timing issue on the landing there, but
nothing too big.
Nothing too big. Third pyramid heat, open pyramid. Both teams with starting values of 10 on this one.
These are the last rounds before halftime.
Fight for it, girls. Nice job.
Good fight.
Good for them. Get to watch this one from the front.
You can see all bodies working so well together to keep
They were
that.
very focused
that
on that.
in the air.
Yes, I agree.
All right, getting ready with the Bobcats for the last event before we get ready for the triple T's, like we talked about. Tosses.
That ending is
Tumbling,
just, yeah,
team.
so exciting for me.
The monster pyramid.
Must be. There are a lot of bodies out there.
Super solid at their last away meet. So, little Megan Hamill in the back, number 16. Small but mighty.
It's been an absolute pleasure to watch her in her years here.
Develop as an athlete and a person. Amazing girl. Wow.
Sweet.
That is what you like to see.
I know.
That's how you like to close off the first half, Marie.
Ah,
And we got another fist pump from Coach.
good job. Good job, ladies.
Super good.
The fan in the stand thought it was good, too.
Hopefully we get to see a replay of that. Oh,
Looks like your prayer is getting answered.
amen. Karen
Just-
DiFlippo, the handstand queen.
You know, can't do that on the ground, let alone.
I think we could do it.
I
Able to put one
couldn't.
up over here.
Listen, I'm going to be real honest. I'm in awe just watching any of these athletes.
And the hold at the end, smiling faces, like I said, we love to see.
I don't know, they're looking really crisp and clean. Couldn't be happier. Marianne Powers, head coach, and even their assistants, they all looked very, very happy with the pyramid rounds here. So,
And we're early on the season, and they're already looking this crisp.
right? I didn't see any fist pumps from the judges. What's going on? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, should we go talk to them?
We need to go talk to them. They need to get a little more excited about this.
I'm sure they're coming. Makes my heart happy seeing all these girls who, like I said, just before, struggled last year or just worked hard to get those skills down pat, and now they're competing and putting it on the floor and having a major impact on the team.
That's amazing. You love to see athletes grow. I have to say, in my years of coaching at any level, and it really is amazing to watch an athlete come in, and they're green, what we call green, very well versed in for whatever reason that they were brought in, but to watch them grow over those years and to it's almost like it's amazing. It's just amazing to watch.
It's more than just an athlete. It's growing as a person. And
that too.
You're influenced by your coaches, your teammates, your friends from other sports, makes you who you are.
Coach Gris giving some, hopefully, words of wisdom that will bring in those tenths of points that we need.
Excited to see these pyramid scores. I think we're going to put up
I think the pyramids were pretty solid. Yeah. Let's hope so.
Coach is discussing.
Marianne's got a clipboard in her hand, solving the problems of the world over there, I think. She really has the most amazing ability to have her pulse on not just this sport, because clearly she's definitely one of the pioneers of this sport, but every athlete on her team. I literally have to tell you that she knows everything about an athlete, right down to, and I think most good coaches do, but she definitely does.
It's important.
9.85.
Yep.
I'm not feeling it. I'm going to put it out there. I'm not feeling it.
I'm a little shocked, Marie.
I'm a lot shocked. And I think that's one of the things that we need to work on in this sport in general. It needs to make sense. I don't know what else was missing.
We do have a back view, though, so maybe.
I know, but I watched it from the front on the replay, too. I'm just putting it out there. I can do that.
You are right.
I'm entitled to my opinion. I don't get paid much for it, but, I'm entitled to it. I really felt like two of those were right on the money. Again, I need to take some training.
Still impressive scores, but
incredible, yeah.
The little things.
I think they felt it too, though. You could tell they felt it too, that it was right there.
Oh, the alumni 2019. Be getting the total scores in just a few minutes for the first half. Second half, we're going to look at the team routine, the tumbling events, as well as the tosses. Always the most exciting to see, I think.
I think so, too.
That's when the place really gets into it, really gets electric.
And just the amount of bodies that are on the floor. I mean, I've said that the judges have the hardest job in the room. It's one thing when you're watching one mat with one skill set going up. It blows my mind when you have an entire team out there. Yeah. And I know that they all have their panels that they're watching, but still so many skills.
So much going on.
So much going on, absolutely.
But like we were saying just before, Coach Powers really does hone in on each and every athlete.
She does, and I think
it's important. It's their new home. They're living here.
But and I can just say that as a parent, when you go to a D1 school or when you send your child off to school, period, at the college level, if they're going to participate in sports, it's a privilege, right? It's a privilege, and it's but as a parent, you still want to know that the person that is going to be coaching them is looking for the whole picture. And I have to say, I love that about this sport because this sport has just brought a whole new level of safety to the skills that these kids are doing. Didn't matter if you come from gymnastics or cheerleading. It's been an improvement in general in that. But to have a coach who really has her pulse on the finger and just and takes a vested interest is major.
Not only Mary, even all the assistant coaches are just so caring and are there for you at any time of the day if you have issues. So it's a great support system you have on and off the mat, which is so special.
I agree. So we're going to sign off for a couple of seconds at the half here with Quinnipiac's score of a 95.6 versus Davis and Elkins at an 83.7. We'll see you back in a couple of minutes, folks. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Back from halftime, and we're ready for the toss round. And that was Davis and Elkins that just went out. Nice, solid back tuck toss. Had a start value of 9.0. Coach is giving last minute.
Check out a replay.
Next with a start value of a 9.9, Quinnipiac University.
9.9 starting value for Quinnipiac going out. Hoping to see a replay on that. One from Davis and Elkins. Baskets are very different to be watching from the front than the back. Okay, here's Quinnipiac now.
Want to see exceptional height on these?
Amplitude, baby. Oh,
That was beautiful.
we have the best angle from here for baskets.
really
Let me
did.
just say that for tosses.
The best seat in the house, Marie.
Beautiful lines.
Assistant coach Erin Trotman is the tossing queen,
I agree.
I would say.
I agree.
She's a
She,
phenomenal coach.
hands down, should have that title in the NCATA.
We can give it to her.
Here we go. Now we get to watch it from the front. Beautiful.
Body positions
Little
are
bit of
great.
separation at the ankles, but not much at all. Beautiful.
A clean
Nice
catch.
control. Exactly. Nice job.
Great way to start the second half for the Bobcats.
I agree.
Heat 2 of this event is the synchronized toss.
Synchronized mirror images. That's coming next. That always amazes me too.
That's why those counts are so important.
Absolutely. But you're talking about, 10 athletes. And to try to get them to throw at the same velocity, trying to get the same height, trying to get the same body lines. It's pretty amazing.
To control all that strength.
Good for them.
Beautiful tuck tosses there. A start value was a 9.0 for Davis and Elkins. One of the coaches just said, don't hold back,
There you go.
to the athletes about to take the floor.
Leave it all on the mat.
Quinnipiac's going to start with a 9.9 for the synchronized toss event.
Camera's panning in on some of the crowd, giving them a little air time. Ah, good. Got our guests.
Davis and Elkins fans seem a
They have
little bit
great
more.
crowd, they
Yes,
really
great
do.
crowd. Very eager out there. Come on, Bobcats.
Nice. A little bit of a timing issue on that one, more so than I'm used to seeing. Still very pretty, beautiful baskets.
Got the job done for sure.
See if you can see a front view of this. Here it comes up now.
Little timing.
Yeah, one was just a little more explosive than the other coming off the basket, but minimal at best. But still beautiful lines, nice controlled catches.
The final heat of this event will be the open toss heat. Up first with a start value
One more toss, open toss.
Davis and Elkins.
This will start to wrap up the tosses for the meet.
And this one's got a start value of 9.15 for Davis and Elkins.
It's very clean.
Very clean.
Mel Mancini is the top for the open toss for Quinnipiac.
I've thoroughly and watched this young lady for several years now, and I just love watching her in tosses.
Coming in as a freshman, I remember the first time
I
she had
do
to
too.
throw, the first time that she had to do her full, she was definitely very, very nervous. And now looking at her growth over the past
And
4
she's added
years.
a couple skills to that full
Yes.
up in the air. That's what we were just talking about, what, right? Watching an athlete grow,
The
and
confidence.
develop new skills. Yep.
Mhm. Having some fun on the sideline there.
Quinnipiac University.
There we go. Rounding up the toss round. My favorite round. Little last minute adjustments there.
It's important once the starter starts counting, no movement is made.
Beautiful.
Nicely done. Mancini comes off the floor with a thumbs up, so I think that's
And then she looks over at
the
her
only
coach.
reassurance
Good,
we
good,
need.
good. Such determination in her face. Beautiful split right before that full twisting back. That's beautiful.
Ankles are glued together. Can't ask for much more. That'll wrap up the tosses for today.
I know.
Going
My
into the
favorite
second
round.
tee of
Curious
half
to
two.
see what the scores come in at. And then, yes, you're right. In terms of power and speed, height, everything. I'm always amazed at how these gymnastics coaches do it. It's one thing to teach a skill to an athlete because we know they all have their own scores. Okay, that was the first toss. So the synchronized one. Quinnipiac's under a little bit by where they were from at this point of the meet last week. And it's funny because I feel like they've done some things better this week, but you know what? Different panel, seeing things differently. It's not always going to be, yep. But I know as a coach, you're always looking to up those scores from meet to meet to see improvement in your team. But of course, it doesn't all come down to the number. Because I think as a coach, if you know that you've seen improvement in the skill, even though the score may not have registered, because again, different panels, different parts of the country. I feel like they're scoring. Sometimes I feel like some meets panels will look like they're scoring a little easier than others. That's not to say that it's not inaccurate. It's just to say that everything's relative, right? Everything's relative. You got to be in the room at the time with that panel to really understand where that's coming in. But I think as long as you're seeing improvement in your athletes, that's really what you want to see.
And as for athletes, it's really a feeling. You can tell when you improve the skill. And it could be discouraging when that score isn't showcasing that improvement there. But, I mean, it's all a work in progress. I think athletes learn to understand that as well as coaches.
I thought that first pass, the duo pass for Davis and Elkins was actually very synchronized. I'm hoping they play a replay because we were busy chatting, and I apologize for that. Because we try not to chat while the skills are going. Oh, here's a replay.
9-1 start value. Nina Day and Deanna Blood.
That was actually pretty good for them.
Even the step at the end was very synchronized.
They seem pleased with that.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Quinnipiac, we're going to have Liliana and Chelsea, two Long Island girls.
Wow, they look determined.
Beautiful passes.
Beautiful
little
passes. Yep, I agree. I think right from the onset it was a little off. They were more synced during the warm-up, at least what I saw in the warm-up.
In terms of form of the tumbling pass itself,
I agree.
Beautifully done. Great height and explosion in that last sequence there. Take a look at a replay here. 9.6 start value.
Yeah, the hurdles were off right from the onset. That's too bad because they really do have such pretty lines. Still a lot better than I can do. And that again brings us to, there's just so many different variables that come into play on all of these rounds that these kids do, and it's
height, the speed someone tumbles, the strength they have when they tumble.
I feel like in a lot of the meets that I watch, and you tell me if you agree with this, and this is strictly opinion, this is where we start to see some teams pull away. Some of the bigger name schools, like you'll be neck and neck with them all the way through the skills. But on the tumbling side, some of them just run away with the score. Where do you think that comes from? Is it a recruiting issue? Because let's be honest, at this level of the game, you're really not, well, I don't want to say you're not teaching new skills in tumbling, but most gymnasts come in with a skill set and you're honing skills, right? And you might be able to, is it a recruiting thing, do you think? Is it?
I don't know if it's necessarily a recruiting thing, but like we were saying earlier with the acro rounds, those start values are determined based off the difficulty, and it's not easier necessarily, but you can teach more acro than you can tumbling.
Exactly. Okay.
Those mentally thinking of it, you know, flipping your body doing an extra whip or something. You know, it could be harder on the body, harder on the mind. Whereas acro, you're in it with a group and you're working together in those pieces.
Absolutely.
So I think that can play a role in it.
I agree. I have to say, Davis and Elkins, while, you know, their start scores might not be through the roof, or neither, you know, or some of ours in the tumbling, I feel like they're doing really well in the syncing of their tumbling.
I agree. Three seniors, the 9.4 start value for QU.
All right, come on, ladies.
Mel, Megan, and Bonnie.
Okay.
Nice.
That's a little bit more of the sync I'm used to seeing. That was impressive. Good for them.
Very good. Team
Nice
looks
team,
happy.
please.
They look happy. Coaches look happy. High five from Coach Chris.
Here's the replay. Yeah, right there. See, to me, I don't know. I've always felt like if the hurdle's on, that's the first big step in the synchronization process. Yeah, this in my very simple-minded tumbling expertise.
Some athletes are warming up on the side, 2 mats for their tumbling passes that they're going to have to do in the team routine.
Heat 3 coming up. The quad pass.
4 athletes taking the mat at once. Aw, some little fans. Some Bob Kittens.
I like that term.
7.5 star value.
Good for them. I love it. They seem pleased. They seem pretty motivated in this round.
no matter the start value, you want to make sure you execute those skills
Absolutely.
to the best of their ability.
Absolutely.
That's what the proudness and the sense of accomplishment is going to come from. Because you know before the meet what you're putting out.
Listen, and even as a coach, if you know your athletes are working to their potential and they're giving you 100%, there's nothing more that you can ask for. There's a replay from another angle. Good for them. And now Quinnipiac is going to respond with a quad pass of their own.
9-1 start value. The Dara Magro, number 19. Number 48, Isabel Pierce. 52, Kyla Roberts. And Stella Pashan. I'm going to mess that one up.
Pashian. There you
Pashan.
go.
He got it right.
Well, if he got it right, then we got it right
Pashian.
because, yeah. That sounds fancy.
It does.
Oh, I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Fancy. Talk about fancy, Marie. That was very good.
That was very
Great
posh.
sync.
That was very Pashian.
Very pushy on, ladies. Keep up the good work.
They seem
Excellent.
extremely pleased. Good
Yeah.
for them. Another replay. I'll watch this one over and over again. Just so pretty.
Nice.
Beautiful.
It's great seeing meet after meet. The difficulties of these skills are getting harder and
I
harder. From
agree.
a full to a clean 1.5. It's great to see. Going
They
to the
seem
solo
pleased.
passes.
You want them in a good place, both sides, both teams, obviously. You want them in a good place before they get ready for their team routine.
Exactly.
First will be the aerial pass. Up first with a serve value of 8.95. Vegas and Elkins. Portia Durden.
Nice.
Good for her.
That was
That
excellent.
was beautiful. She seems pleased.
895 start value, too. Portia Durden, number 1. Aw, good for her. Good job, Portia.
Ah, look at. Awesome.
You have to see that energy in those relationships
That's
on
right.
the side. I always think with sports like this and gymnastics, the relationship and bond you build with your teammates are so much stronger than
I
others, but you're
agree.
with them years and years and hours on hours with practice. And you're super close. Literally, all the time. Liliana taking the corner for the cue.
I love the number 8.
Lucky number 8.
Crazy 8. Here we go.
Crazy 8. Sophomore from Long Island.
Wow.
Talk about small but mighty.
You know, we're right on this diagonal, so to watch it just explode from this corner that's a pretty incredible angle to be seeing it from.
Get a replay here. Take a look at that beautiful tumbling pass.
So much height.
It's the aerial pass. Nice finish.
Good for her.
Getting ready for the 6 element pass for Davis and Elkins with a 9.55.
But who's counting? No.
Yeah, right.
6 element.
9.55 start.
I feel like
value.
all of them have like 10 elements in them.
I
It's
know.
like flip, flip, flip.
Flip, flop, flip. Number 7, Nina Day. Starting far back in the corner there.
These passes are getting more and more complicated. I mean, literally, we're starting how many feet off off the mat. I mean, 9 strips just isn't cutting the mustard anymore.
Almost running out of room
I
here.
know, that's exactly it. She's getting motivated.
Whip, whip, whip.
Wow. And she needed every bit of that.
Yes. Good for
Of that
Nina.
room. Good for her. That was beautiful.
They're putting out really good individual
Good for
tumbling
her.
passes.
Ah, she's getting this.
Just as a program that's a couple years in to be putting out that difficult tumbling passes, it's impressive. Run like the wind, whip, whip, whip.
Oh,
To a handspring full. And
oh,
a nice
with
gymnast
confidence.
finish.
Good for her. Beautiful. Melanie Mancini, I believe. I just zoomed in on her. Do the next one on this one.
Mellon.
Come on, Mel. 10.0.
Athletes can pick whichever way they want to tumble on the mat, which is
God
also
bless
great.
them. Wow, good for her.
That's what you expect to see out of Mel Mancini. She's a very solid athlete and consistent. I think that's what coaches love to see.
Oh, please. Consistency. There's no better word. That's, in my opinion, one of the greatest attributes you can have as an athlete is definitely consistency.
Something you can always count on.
Right.
It's great leadership quality as well. Whip Arabian. A beautiful 1.5. She's funny. She walks off the mat. Yeah, I did that. No biggie.
Do you need to move? Do you need us to move? Okay, because so one of Quinnipiac's athletes are setting up here, and I'm thinking we're in her way. We'll move.
9.85 start value from Davis and Elkins. Starting far in the corner there.
So much power.
1.5 step out.
Oh, good for her.
Number 15, Deanna Blood. Her and her teammates look happy.
They're going to give us a replay, I hope. Here we go. Takes off with so much power.
Beautiful 1.5 step out. Right out of a round off.
Trying so hard to stick that last. See them fighting for it. Good for her.
Good for her is right. Chelsea Werner up for the Bobcats next. Oh, we're on the big screen.
We're on the big screen thanks to Chelsea. We got your back,
She's got
Chelsea,
our
literally.
back. Number 24.
So just waiting for the cue. Come on, Chelsea. This is really close.
Up close and personal.
Really.
Nice finish there.
Big smile at the end of her face. Gotta love it.
You can see alumni recording that impressive pass. Her and coach both seem happy.
Replay, we get to watch it from the front end now. God.
Great height.
I'm just in such awe. I love this sport. I really
Me
do.
too. I
just
miss it.
can't say enough about it, and these athletes, and they're just so amazing. And to everyone listening, I think I say this every year when I'm here. If you've never, first of all, let's just say it's great that we're doing a live stream, so more people can see the sport. They can watch it from their homes. But if you can ever get out to a meet, there's something to be said. I actually watched last week's meet. I did, watch it live, the live stream. And it was great sitting there in my fuzzy slippers, admiring these great
Nothing
athletes.
like
But
it.
there's nothing like being in the atmosphere. There's just something to be said. I mean, I think I would come even if I wasn't asked to speak.
Especially during this team event.
Yes.
I was saying before, just as the teams were practicing, I had chills going throughout my
Absolutely.
body. And now these people coming to attend the meet are already so invested in the meet. Now to get to this team event where 23 athletes, I believe, take the mat, and teams are going head to head. It's just a whole different set of energy that you
And there's so many skill
feel when
sets
you're
you need
here.
the boxes. I call it the boxes. You've got to tick off so many skill sets in order to get that score.
Yeah.
And then again, let's just bring up the point that these judges are watching only certain panels and every skill that's happening on that panel, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
So many different elements come into just the team routine, and it's important to take it piece by
Every
piece.
element, right?
Yep.
Think about it. Of all the rounds that we do, technically, they're in that team routine. It's a matter of piecing all those pieces together to get the best team score.
Yeah.
It's nonstop. It's one skill after another. That's when endurance comes into play.
And energy.
Absolutely.
Whether you're in an element in the routine or you're just standing on the side waiting to do a tumbling pass or get in those pyramids, people are screaming their heads off.
I hope so.
And cheering on their teammates or whatever is happening at that moment.
I remember specifically in my years here at Quinnipiac when we were there, telling kids, because when you're in that mode of going from one skill to the next, you don't think to breathe. I know that sounds almost ridiculous, but I remember saying to athletes, during this time at practice, figure out where those spots are where you can take that extra breath, because oxygen is a good thing for your body, and they get so into a zone. But you're right, you got to know where and every athlete on that floor has a different map, right? Like. You're all doing one routine, but everybody's routine is different. Their specific part in their routine is different.
Exactly.
It's mapped differently.
Exactly.
Just warming up. They're all getting ready.
I'm sure they're all excited.
I'm sure they
Take the
are.
mat at home.
There we go with the results.
Quinnipiac University, 8.8. In the trio tumbling pass, Davis and Elkins, 7.75. Quinnipiac University, 8.8. In the quad tumbling pass, Davis and Elkins, 6.65. Quinnipiac University, 8.8. In the aerial tumbling pass, Davis and Elkins, 8.475. Quinnipiac University, 9.325. In the sixth element tumbling pass, Davis and Elkins, 8.9. Quinnipiac University, 9.525. In the open tumbling pass, Davis and Elkins, 8.9. Quinnipiac University, 9.375.
Nice.
The tumbling event total, Davis and Elkins, 49.275. Quinnipiac University, 54.625.
And again, Quinnipiac scoring a little lower this meet than they did last week in this round. And again, it's all relative. It's hard to say.
Personally, I think their tumbling looks better.
I thought so too, but I felt that even with a couple of the other rounds. So
Pyramids
I think
especially.
that's
Could just be one of those days.
Well, and it's like I said, the scoring in this sport is such that it depends on your panel that day. It depends on, it's relative, it's relative to what's going on that day in that room, and I get that. But like you said, it's hard to explain to your athletes if you've seen them elevate their game to explain that, so.
especially the younger athletes like freshmen.
I agree.
You're put out into these rounds. You're new here. You know, you're getting used to it. You're not that you're not performing as well, but you're not scoring as well as you're performing. So it's a hard concept to grasp.
So Quinnipiac with almost a 20-point lead over their competitors here today. So I don't think it's an issue of them, not feeling confident. But you still want your athletes to go out there and to gun for it. Like, at least I would. I would want my athletes to go out there like they're the underdog and fight and claw your way.
Better than they did last weekend.
Absolutely. Want to pick up that score if you can.
Going against themselves, really.
Exactly.
No matter if it was a close meet or not.
Or not, exactly. And same thing for Davis and Elkins.
Yeah.
You want them to go out there and to fight like they're in this till the end.
And they seem happy with how
they're
performing as well.
Have to say, I felt like some of their pyramid structures actually looked more solid in the
I was just
routine
going to say that.
than in the rounds when they did them. Well, they had like one major slip up on that, but I literally was very impressed with that routine.
All their tumbling hit.
I agree.
I think one girl might have touched down, but other than that, it looked like they did what they needed to do out there.
Absolutely.
I'm sure their coaches are very proud, especially after that long drive from West Virginia, like we were saying before. Bodies are aching. You know, it's a whole different ballpark.
Programs are built, like I said, and they're off to a great start for sure.
Exactly.
It was our pleasure to have served as their host team today. Sure, we're going to be seeing great things from them, but I really, really, really like that routine.
Yeah. We're going to take a look at a replay, a couple of the highlights from the team routine.
Well, that'll give us a chance to point out some things that we noticed on here if we want.
Definitely.
So many elements going on. So obviously, we've got some acro going on here. There's some tumbling going on. And it's funny because you see that they did two pyramids and then two pyramids. You have to put up 4 pyramid structures in the routine. You see some teams will put up 4 pyramids at the same time, I believe there's a bonus for doing that.
Uh-huh.
But of course, if you don't have the number of athletes that you need to do that on the mat, that's where the size of the team comes into play
Yep.
too, and starts to really affect, how. And let's be honest, the less athletes you have, the more they have to do
Exactly.
in
Each
the
athlete will
routine to
have
tick
do
off
more
the boxes.
tumbling passes, and more
Absolutely.
difficulty.
They have to be pleased with this. This is the first I've seen their team perform. I wish I had seen them, because I'd love to see this, but the coach should be very proud. I'm hoping that she's just as pleased with their performance.
As we are.
Yeah, I felt
I'm
like
proud of them.
they were very strong coming into this team routine.
It's fun to get together at the end of a good routine
Yeah.
and just do a dance with everyone, depending on the music everyone picks.
Good to see a lot of their personalities come out too in situations like that, which is great.
Bobcats are gearing up to take the mat, take the home floor for the first time this season. First of 3. They're going to be at home 3 times.
Yep. If I remember correctly from watching last week, I think that there was one acro skill that came down in the middle, which is, in my opinion, it's just so, you rarely see that with Quinnipiac. I know Marianne's coaching style. Nothing that goes into this routine is even questionable.
Yep.
So when that happens, something went
Something
awry,
went
because she's definitely not one of those coaches that puts something out with her
Risky.
fingers crossed. Yeah, no, that's not her coaching style. And I think in years past, and even now, I've always felt like Quinnipiac's routines are just very clean, very easy to follow in terms of the way they're structured, the way they're laid out. They've just got their own style. I want to say we, because I love to associate my name with this program as much as I can, but I've always loved that about them. Now, I don't know from a scoring standpoint if that's always served to our benefit. I think some teams, it's all strategy. Some teams like to kind of do the clusters where your eye just might miss something.
I think from the outside eye or the outside looking
Yes.
in, if you don't have that acro or cheer gymnastics
Exactly.
background, seeing a Quinnipiac team routine is head over heels than a cluttered routine.
Exactly.
You can really process everything that's going on.
And it's all preference too, to some degree. I mean,
Exactly.
certainly I'm biased. I'm sitting here, sporting a Quinnipiac, mentality for sure, because this is
The Bobcat mentality.
Exactly. But there's just something about their routines. I just love it. But you know what? You got to hit those skills. That's the
Exactly.
bottom line. So I'm
And
hoping
hit them
that
good.
today we'll see that those skills, they stick them today, and they hopefully up that score. Do we know the starting score? Because this is another thing that always amazes me. 99.24 start value for Davis and Elkins.
105.61 for
That's good. It's really good.
you.
You're hoping to increase that score as the season goes, obviously, and you're hoping, the bottom line is, though, and again, it's all strategic. It's like in any other sport. Your coaches pick the strategy that they think is best for their team. I don't necessarily think a higher start value is necessarily the ingredient to win if you're going to get more deductions. So
Yeah.
necessarily increasing the skill, if you're not going to get the execution in it, is not the way
not
you want to
gonna
go.
add up.
Absolutely. But I think the goal, and I know when I coached with Marianne for those years that I did, we always tried to elevate it going into the end of the season, but only if it was going to bring the same execution or better, if you could. So it's a sport, it's a game, it's
Exactly.
strategy, it's everything, right?
fast-paced.
Absolutely. And then it all comes down to your athletes and hoping that they're all healthy throughout the whole season.
Exactly.
Because we know that changes the trajectory of any team.
We have a couple athletes taking the mat today for the first time this season, coming back from an injury. It's great to see the recovery process and
Oh.
them.
It's just wonderful that they can come back while the
Exactly.
season's still on. I agree. Come on, QU.
Start us off strong, ladies.
Solid.
Great start.
We need to keep it going. Perfect example of 4 pyramids. Oh,
That one fall.
not what you want to see. Perseverance, ladies. Push through.
Smaj tumbling to an injury.
Tosses. Beautiful.
And the fun starts.
And the fun starts. Now they can relax to some degree. One more basket. Beautiful. So, Paige, I'm going to call you out.
Oh, God.
You're so funny to watch while the
my
team's
goodness.
performing.
I know. I have my fingers crossed.
You're
my
like,
mouth's
I
open.
see you tensing up. Like,
I know.
it's so funny. You could tell you're just off the floor. You're still raw. I love it. I love it.
Luckily, I wasn't screaming in the mic for you guys back home.
That's what the cough button is for.
Yeah, next time I'm going to hold the cough
Yeah,
button
that
down.
was so good. Well, listen, clean routine. Obviously, some skills came down. See Marianne talking to one of the athletes. She's pretty upset. If you're a committed athlete, you never want to be, coming off the floor feeling like you didn't do your job. But things happen. This sport is extremely difficult, and stuff's going to happen. So it is what it is.
And it's something to work from.
Yep.
You know,
absolutely.
you get into practice Monday morning, oh my gosh, today is Monday. Tuesday, you get into practice, and you get ready to work.
So we're going to have a replay on this. Crazy amounts of tumbling. I feel like they look very strong and very clean.
Yeah, I agree.
Great opening here, just crisp. Something to be said about the confidence level that you see in these athletes' faces. Because I think that's part of the scoring process. Like, if you feed off the athletes, clearly we don't like it when we see girls land not on their feet. Again, all of those little things add up. They're deductions. The missed pyramid is clearly going to be
the biggest
a pretty hefty deduction. Yeah, they just didn't get the skill set in that they needed.
Nice 1.5 there. Those 3 having fun in the corner. Little rock star action.
So much going on in this routine. Incredible level of athleticism going on for sure. But you know what? They've got to just keep picking it up, cleaning it up.
Yep. The strong
Beautiful
finish.
basket in the end.
Just waiting on the scores, but that completes first home opener.
I know. It's these seasons just fly by.
I know, they really do.
And it's some of the people in the stands
Someone's
having
family
fun.
there. Chelsea
That was a
Werner,
fun when
some
they had her back
fatheads.
on there. That's like a life-size one. It looks like it's the aspect ratio looks like it's right on.
Yeah. Just waiting for the final scores to be tallied up. Davis and Elkins is a long way back tonight.
Wonder if they'll go back tonight, or you think they'll travel tomorrow? I guess it depends.
Bust through the night.
Really?
I don't know.
Yeah, see.
I hope they don't.
Well, hope they enjoyed our little state of Connecticut.
Oh,
Literally our very little
better
state
than
of Connecticut.
Hamden, Connecticut.
But I have to say, this is a beautiful campus. This is a great university. I'm hoping that they enjoyed their stay with us. We wish them the best on the remainder of their season. And Quinnipiac, too, need to work on some things and tighten up the...
But it all comes with more practice.
It will. It has to, right? And that's the bottom line.
Yep.
Looks like there's a heavy discussion going on between Marianne and Aaron. They're already strategizing for the next one, I'm sure.
That's what it's about, strategy and strategy.
We will have an opportunity, I believe, at the end of the meet to hopefully interview Marianne, ask her some questions, and hopefully gain some insight on what her thought process is about today's meet.
Moving forward as well.
Exactly.
Some more of the fans.
Folks, we'll be right back with the final scores of the meet. Team scores coming in. I think that's a very good score considering what we witnessed. Do you not agree?
With the pyramid fall.
With the pyramid fall, yeah.
And a couple tumbling mishaps.
Exactly. So Quinnipiac ending up with a little bit of a higher score than they had at the last meet. They have to be happy with that, knowing that there was room for improvement there with some of the skills that came down. We want to thank everyone for coming out. We're going to have Marianne Powers come over right after the coaches meet at the center of the mat. Hopefully we can gain some insight on what she thought were some issues today. Obviously, we can see the issues that didn't hit. But you never know. There could be something going on. We don't know. It was a great meet. Davis and Elkins were great competitors. It was great to have them here.
They seem very happy.
I would hope so. And like I said, I think out of the whole meet, the thing I was most impressed with them was their team routine. I really felt like they did a fabulous job.
A lot of the elements throughout the meet that could have used a little bit of a pick-me-up really came through for their team routine. And
I agree.
Didn't score too bad. They scored
No, they
pretty
did
well.
not. Absolutely. See if we can get Marianne's attention to come over here. Like you said, we're barely at the midpoint, I think, of the season, correct? And I'm
There's 2 meets in for Quinnipiac.
2 meets in for Quinnipiac, but
4 for Davis and Elkins.
Yes, but I'd say we're about at the midpoint, and it really does get more exciting as we go, because teams start focusing in and really clinching down on those little things. And some incredible meets. Please go to the ncata.org website, check out the schedules. If you're not lucky enough to be able to be close enough to one of these meets to go see it in person, certainly live stream it. But if you can get there, go out to see one of the meets. They're extremely enjoyable. And if you're a future hopeful candidate of the NCATA, that's the place to go to get as much information as you want.
Definitely.
More and more schools picking up this sport, which is so exciting. That's what we want to see. More and more opportunities for athletes and even coaching opportunities as well, right?
Maybe
and
for you?
Judging opportunities don't even excite me.
Opportunities.
Don't even get me going.
Never know.
I want some
I'm
of
gonna
these
lose
smaller.
my buddy. You're going to start coaching.
I want some of these smaller, these D2 and D3 schools in Connecticut to start picking up this sport. That'd be great. And Marianne is meeting us, joining us. I'll wait till you have your ears on. Can you hear us, Marianne? Welcome. We can't hear you, but you can hear us. That's all that matters. So listen, congratulations. You had a win. Not the performance I think you wanted to see in your team routine just from knowing you for all the years. That
no, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We, the mid-basin that was having a shoulder impingement all week long.
See,
so
I said there's got to be something more to it.
yeah, so that's okay. We'll hit the drawing boards and we'll get back at to it. So
that's great. What's your hope? Are you happy? You got 2 meets under your belt now. We felt from watching last week's meet, obviously we weren't commentating, but we saw some improvement in some areas. I don't know that I saw it in the scores, though. Am I wrong to say that? Because I really feel like you have your pulse on
I mean,
this.
honestly, I felt there was 3 or 4 places where we did better, and we scored 3 and 4 tenths less. Really, really hard to.
We were saying to explain to your athletes and.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then
Do you think in general though, like we were saying that the scoring is relative. Obviously, the panels are different from meet to meet, and sometimes you have to be in the same room at the same time, same people doing the same thing. So it's all relative. But I mean, do you feel like because there is disparity sometimes between watching scores out in the across the United States and here, no doubt, because I see it and I know if I see it.
Yeah,
other
I
people
think
are
that's
seeing
the
it
hard
too.
part. I think you got to remember that when it comes down to postseason play,
Right.
that's when that panel of judges in postseason is the same. So your scores are all going to probably be relative.
Right.
I'm seeing huge differences, like in pockets.
Okay.
And I think what's hard about that is it affects your seating. You know what I mean? It affects the way you're seated.
That's true. That never
Well,
dawned
yeah.
on me.
And
Yeah.
I think, like I look at some of my toss scores today, I've watched a lot of meets before this, and I'm having a hard time.
I hope Paige, this is your first time commentating with me. I'm definitely one of those people who I just speak my mind and I don't pretend to be an expert, but I've said often it needs to make sense. And there were some things that, and it's not just this year, there's been other years where I've said it just doesn't make sense, and I think that's where we need to start to have a better understanding of the scoring. I can't even imagine.
And even let me ask you this: what did you see wrong in pyramid number 3 that we dropped 0.3 of a point from last week?
I mean,
listen,
I can't go back and hammer my kids on consistency, and we did the same thing, and we dropped 0.3 of a point, and then, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? It's all, you're the type of coach I know that you're going to explain it to them because it is relative, and it's a work in progress. I think as long as you know that your kids are improving and they know because they feel it too. We know that they feel it. You got to hope that, like you said, as the season progresses and that judging pool starts to become more consistent in terms of, matching up better, that hopefully it'll pay in the long run. But, I mean, still, today, I thought the team looked very crisp. I love your routines. I've said it. It's never a cluster. It's never everything.
Maybe that's the problem.
Oh, we said that too. We said we don't know if that's. I don't know. Maybe you need to strategize that. I don't know. That's me talking to you as your friend. But you know what? You've got a lot to be proud of.
I thought their tumbling in team routine today, they were all on the feet except for Bonnie.
Yeah.
And she's probably going to wear that really hard on her sleeve, but she was in that pyramid that fell. So she was more concerned about grabbing that, and then she had to get into a corner and go.
Right.
So I was very, very proud of her. She's such an extraordinary leader. She's got those kids in a circle. But you know what? That's the truth about this whole senior class because, I'm sure teams across the country in every sport, they have their mountains to climb. But this has been one heck of a mountain for this senior class this year. But it's been like pulling things uphill with some of the losses that they've incurred this year. And I just hope that they don't give up that spirit, that fighting spirit, because I wouldn't want them to finish that season any other way. And Paige, sitting here as a senior from last year, you know full well what these kids are capable of.
Yeah.
And I just think they took some hard knocks, but they
all
just
bring
keep
so
on.
much to the
well,
program.
they do, and they just keep on coming back, swinging and swinging and swinging. And at some point, I need everybody else to step up a little bit.
Right.
A little bit more for them, a little bit more.
Well, that's why it's called a team. You need the whole team to be
Well,
swinging
we're
hard,
trying,
right.
and I'm slowly seeing my freshmen, and I need a little bit more out of them. And I'm looking forward to the day when they bring that, and then there'll be a little bit of relief in there. And they're working really hard, no doubt about it. I think it was a good meet. Kudos to Davis and Elkins for doing as well as they did. And I'm going to go hit the drawing board on some of this stuff right now.
I have no doubt that you're going to get this team exactly where they need to go. Because we know from the inside of being part of your I like to rub my elbows with you. So being part of your program, we know some of the inside stuff that you've gone through. And you're right, every team has their mountains to climb. But Mare, you do it all the time. You do it
Well, I think the hard part is we know we had 2 falls in there. So that would account for
big points.
3 points.
Yep, big
From
points.
105, 102. I need to know where the other 12 points were.
Yeah.
That's the hard thing. Like, I need to be able to look and say, I mean, we talk about clean tumbling and standing. Those kids are squeezed. I mean, there is nothing. They're squeezed.
Right.
And I don't know where those 12 points are coming from, and I guess I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know that what we insist on release moves, that they're truly released. You saw the 2 hand-in-hand pyramids piking through. They were timed. They weren't shaking.
No, it was unbelievably crisp and clean. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I said to Paige on a couple of things, because again, I speak my mind. I don't necessarily pretend to be the expert on this sport. I said to her, I said, I'm ready to take the officiating class.
I've taken it.
Good for you. But that's the way to be, though. Good for you. Why would I expect anything less from you?
Yeah,
knowing
well,
you the way I have?
We get on a plane on Thursday, so I'm hoping to make 1 or 2 adjustments before that happens, and we'll see if we can make a difference in a couple of
So you're on the road.
scores.
Where are you headed?
To University of Oregon.
Okay. That's a big one. We're wishing you the best of luck. We're
Thank
your
you.
biggest supporters, you know that, and not because we get to sit here with.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. It was a good day here.
It was.
It was a good Monday night.
It was a good Monday night. Nice crowd.
You rallied the team. They're going to do what they need to do. You're a
I got
great
it.
coach. They're a great team. You have great leadership this year. The variables are all there for you to have a successful season, and we're going to be rooting for you. You know
Thank
that.
you.
All right. We love you.
Yeah, I love you too.
And we
Thanks,
want to thank
Mare.
everybody for coming in and listening to the live stream. We hope we did our due diligence in providing some good feedback to you. And thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you back at the next home meet for QU.